All right, guess who I have with me today? Long overdue. I'm gonna tell you this straight up. This relationship was built through somebody else that I know, but shout out to Tisha, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't be here without her. But it just shows the power of networking and also the power of content. I wanna give a warm welcome to She Cares Med Spa, the owner, the one and only, and we're gonna be tapping into some things that is happening in the industry about her. How do you feel?
Right now, I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. Obviously, it's a holiday weekend. I got a chance to connect with a lot of family and friends. Overall, though, a little tired. You know, that's like a regular thing every day. Not enough sleep, not enough energy, but, you know, that's what it is.
It's crazy she say that because she's literally the pinnacle of giving people energy.
that's definitely a fact.
Like, she's literally.
And you know what's true? The last week, in the midst of all the chaos with the concerts, I did 2 drips on myself.
I saw that on your stories.
No, that was when I had COVID, which was back in September, just to let the record be, you know, told. But no, in real life, I had a homegirl that was with me when I was doing the shows, and she gave me an IV, and I kept it in for 2 days so then I can give myself another drip in order to survive.
Oh, she be really rejuvenating herself like Call of Duty.
Yep.
How when they and then you just.
I ain't even know Call of Duty did that. I might have to tap
literally.
into that. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? The line. Like, they really be doing that. That's crazy. Because my biggest question to start this off is like, why do you do what you do? Like, what is the story behind what you're doing right now?
Well, I noticed that. Number one, back when they started reaching out to me about the concerts, I didn't realize it was a thing. But the more that I did it, it wasn't even so much for the artist, like being able to perform after a night of partying, or maybe they're feeling under the weather and they're touring with a bunch of other people. So you're coming in contact with people from all over the place, working, running on fumes. Somebody gets sick, everybody gets sick, right? But the production team, the engineers, the people that keep the tour going, they get sick too. They get low on energy. They do a lot of flying. They're flying in and out of cities every week, you know, and they're traveling with people and they got shows back to back to back. So you see them needing it. And I'm looking at them like, damn, how y'all do it? And they say, y'all. So it's like, okay, well, I can see the need, you know, and in real life, as I'm doing it for them, I feel like I need it too. Because trying to keep up with them, that's not my normal, you know.
What do you say is one of your biggest operational challenges when it comes to running your med spa? Because I know you got 2 locations, right?
Yes. I would say unfortunately, but I love the fact that I have 2 locations. I can't even front. You know, the reason why is because the Blackwood location is closer to home. I started the South Orange location just because it was where my medical director was. That's where the space was available. That's where I had the most volume of clients, you know, but in real life, having to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to my office just to see a client for them not to show up was becoming problematic. You know what I mean? So being able to tap in and even have a home for my supplies instead of it being my garage or my basement was dope. So if somebody said, hey, I want to come in real quick for this, I'm 10 minutes down the road and I can pop into my office. So that was convenient. But in real life, it's like, doing everything, you know what I mean? I feel like if things were moving more efficiently, then I might not have to do as much, but I do so much behind the scenes in order to keep things going. It can just be so exhausting, you know what I mean? So I think I need my own energy, kind of like what you said.
I feel you. How many different systems do you currently use just to manage like one patient? I know that you have a plethora of patients between both locations.
Yeah.
What are the systems that you probably use right now?
Well, currently I'm using Aesthetics Pro, and I haven't been using it as much because it's not doing everything that I need. So earlier this year, I started implementing Go High Level. I can't even say earlier this year. It was last year when I started in hopes that I'd be able to roll it out in January, but the person that set it up didn't really set it up for She Cares, so I wasn't able to do that. So once I got somebody that was more of an expert involved, I was able to do more with it, and that wasn't until maybe March. And then once I learned that or had that person move, it was great until we had some issues with that, you know, and then I needed to get somebody else. And then it was like, do you really know what you're doing? And there was an issue with that, and I had to find somebody else. So it's been challenging with the system that I'm using now to find somebody that really knows how to work it as I'm learning it for myself. And because all of that takes time. You know what I mean? I've reached out to you several times about frustrations dealing with the system, and you've offered a lot of recommendations. But even then, you know, I've met with other software companies, other platforms, other applications that do things. They just don't do all of what I need because maybe they're set up for bigger practices, so it costs more money, and I'm not there yet. You know, or it's set up for somebody that has a regular schedule, and since I have 2 locations, that doesn't work. They want me to get 2 different programs through them for each location.
So these multi-platforms, multi-systems is becoming a headache based off of, obviously, you spending money and you got multiple systems, and then obviously tracking everything, dealing with the systems in order to really service the customer is becoming a headache.
Not only that, and I'm seeing it more on the patient side, and that's frustrating because they're saying, hey, I just want you to know when I clicked the HIPAA form, it went to the medical history form. And it's like, oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry if you get duplicate forms. Oh, sorry for this. So as I'm trying to put everything together to work well, the patients are having to deal with the hiccups. And that's frustrating, you know what I mean? But if I were to move to another system, they wouldn't have certain things. And I would still have to find somebody that's an expert in that in order for them to set it up for my system. That takes time and more money. And we ain't got all of
So
that.
this is a strong problem in your industry.
Seriously strong.
And my question is, you're not the average med spa owner, because I work with like 5 other med spa owners that are very high end. They post the content, they do all of this stuff. My question to you is that I think you're a little bit different. The reason why is because you're building a personal brand to attract your clients. Most med spa owners either using their employees to attract the clients, like, you know, I'm just being truly honest, or they're just posting content based off of either using AI or based off of just using like somebody that might be a brand, like that's an employee, either or. But you're using yourself to draw the traction. You're really dialing into your personal brand to literally draw traction in for your both locations, correct?
I mean, since we met, you know, we've been connecting and you've been kind of helping like coach me through some of the things. Yeah, branding seems to be more of the way to go.
Yeah, because I believe at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you were to leave this industry, people would still
Ask about She Cares.
Yes.
You know what's dope? I went to, you know, I teach, I'm a professor, but I went to.
Y'all heard that?
So
she
yeah.
doesn't just own two med spas. She also is
I'm a professor at a university, and I teach nursing students that will actually be graduating in this month, in December, to be nurses. You know, nursing is truly a profession. I don't know what anybody else is talking about, but in order to do what we do, it's definitely.
Oh, you talking about that thing? That yeah, we're not even going.
We're not giving that no energy.
They wrong for that, because I hit up some people about that, and I did not like that at all. They care about the dogs more than they care about the humans.
What's crazy is that, but
We're
what
not gonna
happens
talk about that, though.
after you say something like that? What happens when you get sick and go to the doctor, especially if you're already in your elderly years?
That's gonna be a hook.
Even if you got your own private one, they still heard you. Come on, bro. Anyway, I was going to say something else. I can't remember what we were talking about before we got off sidetrack. Oh, the nursing students. So I went down and I took, so where I'm working at right now is it's in downtown Newark, New Jersey. It's at St. Michael's Hospital. And I had my students rotate through the HIV clinic. And one of the nurses down there, she saw me and then she walked away, and then she came up to me. She said, "Excuse me, can I talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You do skin?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You're She Cares," and that's why I was like, "Yeah." So she actually recognized me, and that's the second time that happened. Like, I was at another patient's house. I was at somebody else's house, and I was talking to a patient, and it was an older woman, and she said, "Oh, my daughter's a nurse." And I said, "Okay." She was like, "Yeah, I think she's in school for this, or she works at this hospital." She came in and introduced me to her daughter. Her daughter was like, "Wait, you do skin, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You have a med spa? You specialize in skin of color?" And I was like, "Yeah." So that was the second time. I was like, like, that was dope. So branding is everything.
That's the power of building your personal brand. And I think you're taking what do they call that? When you do the opposite of something else besides what the mundane people are doing every day. I forgot the word. I forgot the word, but she's going a different route, and she's building her personal brand to drive traffic to her business. And in doing that, is building a reputation for herself. So even if you were to leave and one day be like, "Oh, I just want to make cupcakes for the rest of your life," I think people would still, just to be honest and frank, fuck with you. And the reason why I say that is because they don't love you for the med spa stuff. They love you for you. And that's what's truly pulling, because it comes to you first, and then after that, they go to the med spa. Because they got to see if they want to, I'm just be honest, do business with you first.
Yeah,
before
absolutely
they even,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the consultations are everything. If you can't connect with your clients on the consultation, it's really hard for them to come in. But a lot of them, if we get to connect and we, they see that I do care, a lot of times they book, and it's cool after that. Because once they get in, now we really in love. You know what I mean? Like, it's really like love. We
Marrying
friends.
the client, yeah, marrying the client, yeah, no. So
we met on a client relationship.
That's very.
Letitia again.
Letitia again. Like that's the power, and I think people don't understand that power of that, and that's all through social media. She stays in a whole nother state.
Yep.
I was just posting consistently. Letitia found me. Then after that, bada bing, bada boom. Now we here.
Yep. Exactly.
So, and this is the second time I'm seeing her, to be honest. So, but I'm gonna flip this, and we're gonna ask some more questions. I want y'all to stay tuned. Give me 1 second.
So Sheikah, how much time do you lose every week correcting errors that software should be able to fix automatically?
Oh my God. I feel like it's at least a good 6-7 hours worth of time talking about the stuff that needs to be corrected with the daggone system. And it's in every call. So, and it makes me wonder, because before I actually had a system, these weren't conversations, but it's like to try to be more efficient, to try to get more leads, to try to get more appointments, you try to jump on these systems that are supposed to be helpful. But a lot of times they're so massive, and all of what they offer, trying to understand how they work, it's not like a click of a button. It's like, you need to know somebody that's a little bit more, or you can take the time and learn yourself. I don't have the time. You know what I mean? But based off of I'm on my 4th person that I'm like an expert in this software, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to learn it more, because people are bullshitting, talking about they know stuff, and they're stalling with the amount of time that it takes to fix something. So they're getting a certain amount of money before they even start to fix the issue. So the issue never really gets fixed. So it's unfortunate, because when you find somebody that's good in this part of the system, they're good in that, but they might not know how to grow your business with all the other parts, because they just kind of know this part of it. I don't know if I'm supposed to mention the system that I use or not.
Okay. So what about deposits, right? Because everybody has to pay a deposit. I have to pay a deposit for every single service that I do, from hair to nails to everything. So do clients you feel that you deal with understand them in this industry? Do they honor them? Do they feel like the current systems make it a little bit harder? What do you think is the client experience when you're in?
I feel like right now, trying to get people to do deposits hasn't been as hard as I thought it would be, but I didn't really think I needed to take deposits, so people were showing up for their appointments. But something happened where it was like within the last couple of months, people weren't showing up for their appointments. And as you know, I have 2 locations, and they're within an hour and a half of each other. So if somebody doesn't show up for an appointment, I can get to my other office, see another patient, you know what I mean? So I was going to implement the deposit policy in January, but based off of the amount of time wasted on my side and money lost on my side, I was like, man, forget that. Now we starting that right now. Since I've done that, some of my patients that I haven't had issues with, they're like, I'm good. We don't have to do a deposit. Or if anything, I'll come to the office and pay my deposit because I don't want to put my stuff in the system. That's fine. As long as you make sure that you know that you have to take my time seriously is my thing. So, but some systems work well with trying to do the deposit. Some of them don't. Okay. I don't take deposits for online consultations.
You don't?
I don't. That's the only time I don't. Not as of yet. We'll see.
Why don't you? I'm curious.
Because, we're trying to see if we actually want to build a relationship. Normally once we have the online consultation, it convinces them that they want to come see me just because they know that I care a little bit anyway, But yeah, we doing deposits now.
Okay. So how important do you think it is for a med spa to have consistent automated follow-up messages after those online consultations?
I think it's everything. I think it's really important for people to understand that the place that they left care about their results and care about them. I feel like if I go somewhere and I pay a lot of money for a service and they don't ever follow up with me to see how I did, they don't really care about me like that. Even the doctor's offices could do some type of follow-up, anything, we'll see you back at this time. So I appreciate it if somebody is actually taking the time out and doing that. So it's important for me, even if my system doesn't work, hey, listen, know that you can text me. Before they leave my office, I say, listen, this is the number if you need anything. Email me, text me, call me. You know how to get in contact with me. Please don't just feel like you don't have anybody. And so whether the system works or not, they know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you just talked about multiple locations, like having 2 locations, right? So in terms of like the perfect system, what features would you need in order to grow to multiple locations without increasing your stress, without losing control of things? Because I think that would just hearing you talk about it, just something would be like so much.
You asked me a real big question. I'm like, I feel like I need more help, So I feel like ideally if systems work the way they were supposed to, and I utilize them to their full capacity, I feel like that would be great. You know what I mean? In addition to maybe having a little bit more manpower, like physical people to help me, but at the end of the day, it's like if these systems work almost like people behind the scenes, and then I could get somebody to do all the stuff that they can't, that'd be great. But it hasn't happened yet. Hence
Do you think it could happen?
Of course. I think that if somebody was smart enough to tap into all of the gaps in the systems and kind of make sure that, people like me, the thing is that there's a lot of systems for people that are small and they just want something small. Like if you just do eyebrows, then you can go on a system and have people book just eyebrows. If you just do lashes, I said, but with me, you can't just say I'm booking a chemical peel and you're coming in and getting a chemical peel. I have to make sure you haven't used certain products yet, so then you don't have a bad reaction. Now you're looking at me like this is your fault, my fault, because you know what I mean?
Right,
so I need to make sure that you're actually a candidate for this stuff. So, sometimes people are a little disappointed, but it's safety. I care. I don't want you to be out here having reactions saying, well, look what she cares to me. We talked about this thoroughly and you signed it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were aware, you signed consent. So I really think it's important for people to just be aware of everything that's available to them and just know that at least when they come to me, I'm looking out.
Yep. So I know there was something that I wanted to ask about, like duplicate forms, right? Like, and how big of an issue is that for you when you're talking about all these forms and consent and all this stuff and just like the duplicity of it all?
Yeah, I mean, it's important because you're trying to be as efficient. Again, I'm one woman show. So everything is me. And so when I spend time trying to do all your consents, I mean, obviously I want to make sure if you have any questions you have, but I'm trying to be proactive with sending you the information ahead of time. So if you have any questions, you can ask me when you get into the office. Sometimes people get kicked the forms that they don't even wind up getting the service for. And then the way my system is set up, unfortunately, I'm still trying to find the forms for you to be able to sign what you are going to get instead of what you signed proactively. So again, learning curves. A lot of time you really have to sit down and really know and understand and make sure things are going. People have told me that they got the forms that they needed to complete, but then one link said it was supposed to be this and they got something different. And I'm like, my bad, I'm sorry. We're still trying to work out the kinks. Yeah. But, understanding that the people that are helping me with these systems, they understand what my vision is important. So then they can understand we don't want people getting forms that they can't even. We don't want stuff looking like it's sloppy, you know what I mean? And it's ongoing headache. Yeah. Like it's still a headache.
Yeah, and on the client side, I've been there, and it's not fun when you have like form after form. You don't even understand what you're signing. You feel like you're signing away your life, and it's your skin. Like if something major happens, then.
I will say that you need to read the things that you're signing.
Like, but if there's like 20 forms.
As humans, if this is something that you really want, like, and you're signing your life away and you're spending a lot of money, you should read it. I'm just saying. Like I'm really stressing to make sure that my contact information is there. You can call me if you need anything. Like everything is there, in hopes that you're reading it. So read it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm spending time with that part.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like updating my logo to make sure the contact information is all of that stuff.
Yeah, because I know you're doing it, but it can be kind of overwhelming when there's like form after form after form after form. But it sounds like this system is going to simplify a lot.
We're hoping that we can find a happy place with the systems. Like at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to fill out your medical history form only but once a year unless there are changes to your health. It's almost like an electronic medical record, like if you were to go see your doctor. So you only need to sign those forms once a year. But if you're having a new procedure that you haven't had yet, you have to sign that consent. Like if you want to go for PDO threads, or if you want a chemical peel, like each time you do something, you're going to have to sign consent, understanding that everything, you've asked all your questions, saying that you approve. You know what I mean? So you can't come for me afterwards.
True.
Because that's really what it is.
True.
You know, you're signing your life away.
Makes sense. And so kind of piggybacking off of that, HIPAA, right? So how would a fully HIPAA compliant single platform software change the way you hire, you train, you delegate tasks, you know, everything? How would it change the game for you?
I mean, we want to make sure our patients' information is safe. We don't want anybody to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe that somebody hacked into this. Like, you get those security breaches, that can't happen. That can't be She Cares. Like, we cannot, I'm not interested in going through that. So making sure that I find a system that's HIPAA compliant. I mean, I have a system that's HIPAA compliant, but like making sure that it works for us and that there's nothing that's like, you know, outstanding or like not HIPAA compliant is really important. But I want people to feel like their information is safe with me. You know what I mean? Just like if they were anywhere else, like at a hospital or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's everything.
You're in COVID. I'll speak for you and your message for all anything, but just over with like the next top. Matter of fact,
Can we do an introduction for her?
you should get it.
All right. So should I take the iPad and the pencil?
No.
What are we doing?
Introducing you. Who are you?
Me?
Yes.
You actually did very good.
You did really good.
Every looking to probably like being a host.
That's what we were talking about. That was the whole thing. I'm glad our test drive went really well.
Oh,
You're a really good hostess on the fly.
TikTok, but you also speak good on TikTok. But you should definitely think about starting either your own podcast or helping others host podcasts. People do pay for hosting podcasts.
True.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But what we'll do is, matter of fact, you should just introduce her. Don't need you don't need that.
Okay.
But just say my speaker blah blah blah, and then I'll cut in and out. I'll end it.
Okay. So I just said basically capture like I had the opportunity of sitting with Miss Selena Victoria.
Victoria.
Is that your last name in real life?
No.
Okay.
But that's
all
the name
well,
we'll go
that's
by.
your name. I was like,
I'm in HR. I can't have my
I'm a
government
lot.
everywhere.
Okay, I got you. This is like, hold on, wait. And okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I've had the pleasure of sitting down and being interviewed by my family member, actually my dear cousin, Miss Selena Victoria. Love you back, cuz. It's been amazing. We've been talking about doing things like this together, and we've finally had the opportunity to do so. I loved every second of it. I think we should definitely do more.
We
But,
should.
Maybe tell me a little bit more about what you do.
I'm in HR. I'm in the fun stuff right now with everything kind of going on in the world. So very hectic. I work in financial services, and it's a lot. It's a lot, but I love what I do, and I've been doing that for a while. And I'm also a licensed realtor. Obviously not doing it right now because, you know, it's kind of a conflict and everything, but I've been a licensed realtor for over 10 years. So definitely doing a lot of work.
Okay, but outside of that, we have some social media presence going on. You actually have your own TikTok where you talk a lot about life and different issues that women face and just randomness that is beautiful.
I do. Check me out at Miss Selena Victoria, at Miss Selena Victoria on TikTok, for
You
sure.
want to spell it out so they got you?
MS, Selena Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, Victoria.
Selena. All right, cool.
1, 2, 3. I'm back. Y'all probably never seen a podcast like this before where the actually host switches. So, She Cares. 2 locations. The whole point of this podcast is to showcase that we're building out something big for this industry. This industry actually only has probably 4 or 5 big systems or big companies that integrates with med spas when it comes to systems and processes. We want to do something different. And we want to disrupt the industry by building out this systems and process based off of what she has pretty much all the answers that she answers that she gave based off the questions that she was asked. All in all, I want to say thank you for being on this podcast. My next biggest thing is one last question though. One last question. When it comes to what you do, you already told us why, what, when, where, how. Do you see the industry being disrupted what is the word? Disrupted or
Disruptive
Disrupted, see?
Disrupted or disruptive. Those are two words.
Disruptive, that's the English language for you. But do you see another software coming about where it can disrupt this industry to help more med spas?
Oh, hell yeah. I think if somebody was to cue into what the real needs were instead of like, it was crazy is that in the hospital, a lot of the times the people that make the decisions aren't like in the day-to-day of what a nurse is, but they're making decisions for us. They're designing the units. They're talking about like, and it's like, but don't you think it'd be important for y'all to know what it is for us, like get our insight because we're the ones that are there. So, I mean, I complain to you a lot about what my issues are on a regular basis.
Definitely do, y'all.
But at the same time, it's the right person to complain to because at the same time, he's been plugging me in places and like really giving a lot of like coaching and feedback to help me grow. So we're also highlighting the fact that I was here in February. Where were we in February? And then where are we now? Okay.
That is a big
All right.
thing.
And he had a lot to do with that. So I like to just, appreciate, shine a little light or give a little love to Jeremiah for all that he does because it's been a lot of growth since then. I mean, now that I've kind of had time, a little bit more time to kind of tap in, I have to understand the applications that I'm using to understand if the people that I'm working with actually know what they're talking about too. You know what I mean? So I have to take my time and make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do to make sure that the people that I'm working with, but having somebody like him on board is very, very impactful in how I move. And a lot of times if you're doing what it is that you're passionate about and that's your brand, it is a lot easier to sell it because it's just naturally doing what you do, right? So
that's why we are here. You are now tuned into the exclusive. If y'all are tuned in, that means we are already tuned out. I will see y'all on the next episode. Out.